I finally started painting again after a very long time of not doing, in part because I couldn't for a long time, and then because it was really difficult to get going after such a long gap. And the two pictures that you're going to see here are what I've created most recently, and they're not, they're not my best paintings ever by far, I suspect. But they both speak of a similar thing, and I was thinking as I was doing them that the way I paint is also very much saying the same thing. So I thought I would share with you a little bit about my feelings on the subject of impermanence. Most of my painting, not all of it, but the vast majority are done in pastels. Now, anyone who's done anything creative knows that you create your own style, you create your own methods, you do the things that feel right to you, and you don't even know some of the time why you're doing it. But with pastels, unlike any other medium, unless you fix them in place, they never dry because they're not actually wet. It's like painting with dust, really, coloured with dust. And yet, any fixative that you can get from pastels dulls the colour, takes the vibrancy out of the tone, which I don't like. So when I first started, I did what you were expected to do, what you were theoretically supposed to do, and I fixed things. And then I found them not to be what I'd actually painted. It made such a significant difference that I stopped doing it. And what I did back then was I would get very, very cheap frames, which I can't seem to get anymore, incredibly cheap, to just keep my paintings in, so that they were sort of in suspended animation almost, but that if anybody moved them out of the frame that they were in, great care would have to be taken, or you wouldn't have ended up with the painting that you'd started off with. And as time's gone on, I've realised that not only do I like the vibrancy of an unfixed pastel painting, but I also like the concept. I like the notion that it can be ruined or changed into something completely different by either carelessness or intentional movement of it. That's a bit like life. Unless you put it behind glass, it's in constant flux. It's always impermanent. And that, what I am again now creating repeatedly, reminds me of that, and I find that really valuable. We can get too caught up in our own sense of self-importance and the way things are and the things that we don't like, when in fact we are like a pastel painting. We are throughout our lives having more marks placed upon this painting, or smudged, or ruined, or put behind glass and frozen in time. Well, for me at least, it kind of pulls me up short and reminds me that I am living. One day, within an unspecified period, I will be no more. And that, the painting that was me will be smudged or ruined or scrumpled up into a bin. The memory of the image that I created may not be. The painting of the fairy here is very much about that as well. One of the reasons that I am really taken with the Egyptians is because they seem to manage to catapult themselves into the future by their very clever use of natural materials. And okay, they were, somewhat egotistical, well, the pharaohs certainly were, And in many ways they were very primitive. In other ways they were extremely advanced. But what is most notable is the fact that there they still are. We can't really miss them because of the actions that they did. They had an impact on the world. Whether you consider that to be a good thing or a bad thing, it's neither here nor there in some respects. They did. And, what marks do we leave behind? Ideas, impact on humanity as a whole, or on nature and the planet. What painting do we make in this world?
Very cunning.